as soon as you hit it. Okay, we're going.
Hello,
Hello there.
everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. We are the Jedi Archives. We review comics every
First
2
and
weeks. Or is
third,
it
First and third
third
Sunday of the
Sunday of
month.
the month.
Yes. Today we're going to review
The Battle
My
of
Republic
Eriadu.
Adventures about Eriadu. And if you're new, my name's John.
Who's frozen in time? I'm Bryce.
And I'm Mike, Obi Mike.
Let's get into this.
All right, so this is a one-shot, the Battle of Eriadu. So the Battle of Eriadu has become the boiling point in the fight between the Nile Marauders and the brave Jedi. On the front lines, two estranged friends find themselves on opposing sides of the battle. Jedi Padawan Gavi fights for the light and life, while Drigget Par sits at the right hand of the villain's Warden. When the two finally meet again after Drigget's betrayal, the fight around them is in an all-out assault. The stakes have never been higher. Can their old friendship be salvaged amidst the ashes of war? We shall see.
And did we get a variant on this one, Mike? I can't
Sorry?
remember.
Huh?
Is there a variant covered on this?
No, just the one cover.
Okay. Which we see Gabby and
Yep.
Drigget.
Drigget here and Gavi. So as we
Very
know,
misleading cover.
they started out as very young at the very beginning, and it's been a very long story between the two of them, very tumultuous. They started out as very close friends that have been estranged, and finally we get the conclusion with this. A seeming conclusion. We're not quite sure.
Right. Not quite sure.
We have
I
that.
definitely don't think we're done seeing Gabby.
Not quite sure.
Well, I think if we see any of them, it's going to be cameo. With how much time they have left, I don't think we're going to get too much.
Mike's
more.
read ahead, so he knows something. So we're not gonna indulge him. We're gonna keep going.
Not that I know something, but just because from Japan Celebration, the author Alyssa Wong did give a hint at something that may or may not be coming in July, and so she didn't reveal anything.
That would be the last.
Yes.
The last book. So yeah, because this takes place between 16 or 17 and 18, because 18 is the last 3 episodes. Period of the High Republic when it comes to High Republic Adventures. So yeah. Then we got 18, 19 in June. Yeah, 20 in July. So.
Right. So she did say that there might be a surprise in July, because we were all sad, and she's like, well, there might be a surprise in July. We're like, what? So you never know.
It probably isn't going to be a good one.
There was no body. That's more.
What are you talking about? Yeah. At the end of this?
Yeah.
Oh, we see her at the end of this. Absolutely. We can get into that one when we get to that point.
All right. So, it's a nice cover. I like it.
They're very like the one shots. They definitely spend the extra money on. So not only do you pay, I think they're $5. These are like $5, $6, but they're a much
$6.
$6, yeah. But they're definitely a higher quality published book. Yeah.
Very glossy.
Everything's so
even the pages
very cool.
Inside are glossy. You can see that high quality, lots of pages, a lot more.
Yeah, I appreciate what they do on these one shots. They definitely, take their time to just notch up the publishing material on these. So.
Yeah, the artwork and the quality of the right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
nice.
Obviously, a longer book, a lot of dialogue here. Whether we're in Gavi's head or we're in Drigget's head.
A lot of dialogue. Yes, I agree. Nice cover. I like this cover. It was good to see them finally back together after a big absence for a long time
Yep.
because they were just little
Yep.
kids.
On Valo, yep.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll leave the cover up. So at the beginning they were best of friends and then turned foes, right?
Did you read the scroll?
The
intro?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I
not the scroll, but the description.
I did. You want me to read the scroll?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
It says
Long
Trials
time
of the
ago,
Jedi, the final confrontation between the Jedi and the Nile looms. The valiant Jedi are spread thin as they are put to the ultimate test on 4 separate fronts. Some rally against Nile marauders who plan to punish the planet Eriadu for its resistance to their rule. Others patrol the dangerous border of the occlusion zone, protecting planets from the vicious Nile raids. A brave few struggle to stop the mysterious blight, an infection moving from planet to planet, draining worlds of life. Still others battle the sinister Markion Ro and his monstrous, nameless creatures. To save the Republic, the Jedi will face their fears in their most daunting challenges yet. If they fail on just one of these battlefronts, the wave of darkness will extinguish the light of the Jedi forever. That was the crawl. So they're finally bringing together all 3 hazards, which is the blight, the nameless, and what was the third one?
Markion Ro.
Oh yeah, Markion Ro.
None of those have anything to do with this issue.
No, they don't. This is really about Drigget and the Warden. And Gabby, rescuing Drigget.
Yeah. And really this one, it does tie. You have to have read a lot of other issues to understand this story because it does. You have to understand how Drigget has a relationship with the Tarkin.
Emilcine,
right? Emilcine Tarkin.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so they've developed kind of a tight bond, right? Almost a romantic bond between her and Emilcine. And at one point, Emilcine says she wants to go and help Drigget when she finds out because Gabby senses that Drigget's back. Yep. He hasn't sensed her in quite a long time. She's disappeared, and all of a sudden he feels her. And because,
but it's at the time she decides to take action is when he finally goes, "Oh, she's here," right? Because she's been kind of dormant, and now that she's taking action, the way he perceives the Force, remember, because he says there's a lot of tangles, threads,
right? He feels threads.
And so he can feel like Ram, and he can feel Kildo, who he says, he's the boy that I love, and he can sense all the other people, and then that's when he goes to that, and he senses Drigget, and this is where Drigget starts taking action and putting her plan in place because she says today is the day that I die.
Right. And really this issue is the one where he comes into his own, where he feels like he's matured and says he embraces the Force, and he says, you know what? For a long time I was afraid and holding back, but he's really embracing the Force and saying, you know what? I'm not holding back anymore, and I'm not giving in to fear. I'm going to embrace the Force. And I like the High Republic because it really tells us how the Jedi are kind of the same, but they're really unique and different, and everyone senses the Force in very different ways. And I like it. Like some sense it like music or waves or the ocean, but he senses it as threads. So it's very interesting how they all sense it differently, and yet they all do experience it in kind of a familiar way. So it was really nice how he was able to sense her, and he snapped. And then when he mentions that, he says her name. And then Emilcine's like, what? She's here? And she wants to go right away. But then they tell her you can't.
Also wants to go.
Right. But they tell Emilcine, you can't because you're the Tarkin and you're the leader of Eriadu. They need you here. And so she says, oh, you're right. I can't. I need to help my people and stay. And she's like, besides, she promises she would come back alive. So she decides not to go. So that's good. And Rue, you're right. Rue. He has a very little bit of an appearance, but it was nice to get him back. It was nice to see him again.
I love how they describe it as a Padawan gone vigilante.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see a little bit more of Rue. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of Rue, but that was cool to get him.
Well,
and then we got Alice too,
the next three issues are all going to be pretty much on Eriadu, so we know that they're all there. So we definitely see more.
That's true. That's true. More to look forward to. And we got the Warden and his eviscerators. So he gets them started, and then Drigget says that she's going to take over and she'll be in charge, right? So she's convinced him that she's the one that should be his lieutenant, right? And of course, it's a ruse because it's her plan to infiltrate, and
right.
She's been wanting to take over and destroy from the very beginning.
Yeah, she's been motivated by revenge this whole time.
Yep.
Right, because of what they've done, and
done to Eriadu, done to Valo, and done to her.
Valo.
But she also doesn't think she's redeemable because of all the things she's had to do to keep her cover.
Right. Starting with stabbing Gavi from the very beginning so that he would leave at the very beginning.
She thought she had killed him, I think. If I'm not mistaken. She thought killing him would have been easier for her to do what she do.
Right. And what happens next? So then she she is surprised to see Gavi, right? Because she doesn't know he's there. She doesn't know he's there. Right.
Not until she comes out of the building, the stronghold.
Right, the stronghold. She's
after she launches all those eviscerator drill ships, she starts blowing everything up. And then as she comes through the wall, but see, Gavi knows, he's like, I don't know what's on the other side of this. So you can see that he's trying to open it with his lightsaber. And then that's when they meet face to face in that one panel, which is the complete opposite. Like here, it looks like they're being defensive, but they both are stunned, right? Like her gun's pointed out and his lightsaber is straight up and down. And you can see that the monologue at that point is two-tone, right? Like on the left side, it's Drigget, but they had the same thought. So it goes from like that red to blue.
Actually, that last scene, she's about to destroy herself in that building. She wasn't going to destroy the building just by itself. She was going to be in the building, and he rescues her.
Or that's when Gavi pulled her out.
Right, he rescues her, and she's like, "Wait, get out! You're not supposed to be in here." She was going to destroy herself with the building. She wasn't planning on surviving.
Right, because she had that thermal detonator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then,
go ahead.
And then we got to see them helping some other civilians and stuff. And she ends up with Gavi's lightsaber because she's asking Gavi to hold a wall up to save some people. And then at that point, we see her say she wants to survive. Like at that point, she's changed her mind. Like, I don't want to die. I want to survive. But Gavi's like, you need to come back to Valo. We can, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I can't go back. And so once, the fighting's over, that's when she has that thermal detonator and she throws it, but it drops his lightsaber. But she's not dead because it's very clear. Are you going to go after her? Like she did it as a distraction. She's not dead.
Yeah.
Because the very next panel, we see her with the helmet on with a sword slashing through the Nile. So she's definitely not dead.
Yeah, Gavi says he senses her, so she's not.
I don't think he's not going to go after her either. His place was there with
it's kind of. It's also kind of interesting. You can always tell if someone's alive.
You're right.
Their string.
Yeah, you're right. He sees all the threads.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. She has that mask.
Yeah, she puts it on and then throws a detonator in.
It was interesting the way the panels looked. It looks like she's about to run off. There's an explosion. They see rubble with the lightsaber, so it kind of makes you think she blew up. But then you see the panel right after.
Oh, yes. Because Rue said she had died.
Yeah, Rue said she's gone, and then says, "Are you going to go after her?" And he said, "No, my place is here." So that's what I said. Like we probably will see Drigget again. I could see Drigget showing up again.
See, because I thought it said she's gone. I thought she died.
Yeah, when you first think about it, yeah, she is. But then the lightsaber's on the ground, and then you go to that next panel. It's like, oh, she faked it till she's trying to
And you know what?
escape.
And I took it literally because she says at the beginning,
Today's
she
the day to die.
does say, "Today
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to die." Right. So she was intending to die. That was her plan. I see. I get
but
it. I get
but
it.
then during the lightsaber fight with the Nile, where she's using the lightsaber,
She had a change of
she
mind.
says, "Now I want to survive." So now I don't think she feels she can survive the battle with Gabby. With Gabby, and I say that because she feels like if she stays there, Gabby's going to do something that gets himself killed, and so I feel like her by doing this is her way of Gabby. I love you, Gabby, but I can't have you, coming after me. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to escape. And who knows, that helmet, even though he says he feels her, maybe that helmet also has like some force blockage. We don't know, but it could. Kind of like,
Hmm.
the stranger.
Yeah. Well, he does sense her though. He says he can sense her.
Yeah,
I can still feel her. And you know what? Because it was that when she didn't feel she was redeemable, when he does hug her and he
she
embraces her,
cries.
she does cry, and she does
Yeah,
feel that she doesn't, because she thought that after she had stabbed him that there was no hope for her left. But even despite all of that, he did still forgive her, and he tells her that the forgiveness, because she says, what is the line? She talks about the forgiveness. There is no room for here. Where
right,
is it?
I think she
It's
just says, "I don't deserve your forgiveness."
correct.
right, right. And it says because the Jedi never gives up.
All right, so that line is the cheesiest line I've ever read in my life. They're having that great big embrace, and she's like, "Why didn't you get? Why don't you give up on me?" Because the Jedi never gives up. I rolled my eyes so hard.
You
But
would
you
Oh,
know
though.
come
what?
on.
The
Star Wars
next
has
line
cheese
is
in it all the time, Jonathan.
the next line is great because you're still my best friend. Just say that. You don't
Yeah.
need a Jedi never gives up. I don't know. I just got super cheese feelings out of
It
that.
is. Cheese lines in pretty much every movie.
A Jedi never gives up. Ugh, it's so.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, but the
I don't
next
know.
page, she says, I don't deserve your forgiveness. And he says, sorry, you already have it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
fine to me. That's fine to say. I don't know. That line made me cringe.
Yeah. It does. But the
I
rest of it, I do
what
like it.
I want is I want my adventure with Rue. He seems way more interesting than most of these other people, and
We
I'd
got very
much
little
rather
of
follow
Rue.
him.
Hmm.
I know he's this
Yeah.
Jedi vigilante that every time you see him, he's kicking ass. Oh, kicking butt.
Yeah, the family show went out the window there, Jonathan. Nice job.
So, but he seems definitely more interesting. So, but still, I think it's a good way to wrap up the story.
Yes.
We're wrapping it all up eventually.
At least for the two of them, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's done, though.
For Gabby and
That's just
Drigget,
my
yes.
my opinion. My opinion.
I
I don't know if it's done.
I just
Still got
don't know if
3
there's enough.
issues.
I don't know if there's enough room for that much more story. You got
Well,
3 issues left, and you got all these other
yeah.
stories. Yeah.
It seems to be like Barzilla and the Warden are going to be at the center of it. If you take a future look at
So
issue 18.
the warden didn't die in this episode. I was trying to tell that was another one of those
No,
ones where they didn't show.
he's still aboard the Star Hopper.
Yeah,
So
the Star
He wasn't in
Hopper.
the stronghold.
She blew up the stronghold on the planet.
Right. He's up above in the Star Hopper.
Okay.
And she blew up the Eviscerators, right?
Yes, she did.
Mm-hmm. But not the Star Hopper.
Correct.
But he knew that she double crossed him.
She told him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she straight up told him. I hope you die.
And she told him that's what you
Basically.
get for thinking. She said you should have known once you said that I was like you.
Right. This is what you get for bringing
Mhm.
somebody who thinks like you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
she basically says, "I hate you," which like that's
Right.
very Sith. Like, I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you die. Basically,
Yep.
like very dark.
Yeah. So, final thoughts, guys?
I really like the book. It was a lot of dialogue. Definitely took a little bit to to get through, but I think it was also really well written too.
Mm-hmm. John?
It was all right. Lot of like we said, a lot of monologuing back and forth in the brain. The art was cool. I like the page which shows all the I guess friends, which kind of spans out. He has all the strings pointing to each one. That was kind of a cool page.
All
It's
the
interesting.
threads. Yep.
Yeah, I mean Drigget was entertaining. But yeah, it was okay. If I would to review it, I'd say 3.5.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I
think
gave
it
it a
was
4.
yeah, nice. Yeah. I think it was a good final concluding story for their tale between Drigget and Gavi. And I just feel like it was a good emotional payoff for the two of them. Beautiful storytelling, great color work, strong story, a lot of dialogue. The only thing is that it would have been a little bit difficult to follow if people haven't read the other stories that came
Right.
before it. So
Yeah,
that's
you
the only
definitely
thing
have to be
you have to have
be
read that
invested.
before. Right.
Yep.
Otherwise, like Jonathan said, if you had only just picked up this issue and started reading, you would have been a little bit confused with all the dialogue. Like if you hadn't known previous storytelling.
Yep. Exactly.
And then some of the supporting characters are touched on very briefly. So I do agree with that. So because of that, I also give it 4 out of 5 holocrons. So, but I think that's fair. So there you have it, folks. I think that's pretty fair of our ratings.
So
but overall,
solid.
a good issue. Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
And looking forward to what comes up next. And from Alyssa Wong herself, there might be a surprise coming out in July. So keep your eyes peeled.
Mm-hmm.
And
speaking of what comes up next, Rebel Scum Con, August 8th through 10th, is hosting Boonta Eve Special Edition Frisco, Texas. Visit them at rebelscumconventions.com. Tickets for Boonta Eve.
Bryce?
What's that?
Are you going to go to Rebel Scum Con?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Tickets for Boonta Eve Special Edition Texas are now on sale at www.virtualcantinanetwork.com. So you can buy the tickets for our event. We are partnering with Rebel Scum. So it should be, I think we got like 15 guests or something like that. Between 10 and 15.
It's like, 13, 14, I think. I can't remember. So, yeah.
So, I'm still working on going. I can't guarantee it, but yeah.
Oh, John, that would be cool.
Bryce
said he's coming to Travers, so.
I can't make it because I've been blocked by my school. There's no travel during that week. Schools are opening, so I can't get out. But you can meet 2 of us there for sure, and a bunch of us from
Star
Wars.
Would be a lot of people from.
A lot of us. I wish I could have gone. I'm getting serious FOMO. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And
all right, be sure you're following us
on.
All right,
our new website, www.virtualcantinanetwork.com, as well as YouTube at Virtual Cantina Network, on Instagram at virtual.cantina network, on X, formerly Twitter, at Cantina Virtual, and on TikTok at Virtual Cantina. And make sure you like the VCN's homepage, Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles 2027. We are closing in on 100,000 members. So if you're not a member of that Facebook page, head on over there and become part of the largest fan group in the universe.
And shout out to our, hey, what happened to our sister pages?
They're on the overlay. So, we do one of these, and then we do one of these.
Oh, there
they are.
Star Wars book nerds. And
always says it wrong. Always says it wrong.
Always at the read it.
Nerd.
Star Wars Comic Book Club and Star Wars Book Nerds.
We're the comic
and speaking of a little bit of publishing news to kind of end this, from what I heard from my comic book shop and what I've heard from the book nerds, mega minds over there, all of the publishing and distribution of comics and books from now on will all be coming from Random House. So, I unfortunately went to my comic book shop and found that out because a bunch of my stuff that I had was damaged because the people that are currently doing it know they're not going to be doing it anymore and been packaging things pretty poorly. So I missed out on some other
Doesn't
books.
Random House
yesterday.
not work in some countries though? Like, don't they not?
I don't
work
know.
In some European
They're
countries?
pretty big. Random House is huge.
But I remember Lakota would have issues with Random House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
like,
so. I don't know,
yeah.
but that's the decision they made. It was like I said, it was announced in the admin channel or the book nerds, and then like I said, my comic book shop even said the same thing. So,
wow,
be interesting.
It would be cool.
Wow.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Get out of here.
This is the way.
Hi, this is author Timothy Zahn. You're listening to Virtual Cantina Network.